Hello, I'm going to show you how to properly dress road rash using hydrogen peroxide. 3M makes this stuff. It's a synthetic skin essentially. You put it over the road rash. Where I am currently, we don't have access to many 3M items, but we do have a Korean equivalent. It looks like this. I'll put a little link in the notes the bottom of the video here as to where to get the 3M product. But okay, so first you want some standard hydrogen peroxide, and I guess there's a little bit of a background to this video. Let me say that I was hit by a car and my foot took a lot of the impact on the road, and as you can see I had road rash. Maybe you can't see this, but this is cut here. 1, 2, 3 spots on my toes. This guy here is pretty good, and then all along these knuckles here. And of course the worst was this right here. And originally this is a much bigger patch of road rash. I don't know if I can get some. Do a little bit of. But anyway, this had almost fully healed about a week ago. I had re-scratched the surface, and in doing this I realized there wasn't much information as to how to, or many videos as to how to properly dress road rash, and I actually was doing it a very poor job for about 3 weeks until I went to the hospital and they showed me how to properly do it. So anyway, I'm going to save you all a trip to the hospital and much of the pain that they like to administer. And I'll show you how to do it yourself. So pour yourself a little bit of hydrogen peroxide. I have some gauze here. What I do is I make myself a nice little ball, and you can do this with or without tweezers. I'm just going to do it with tweezers in case you have to do it with somebody else, just to illustrate. So I get some nice hydrogen peroxide on there. Let it soak up the hydrogen peroxide. Now I'm not going to lie, this is definitely going to burn, depending on how fresh the wound is. Luckily I've had a few days to let this heal over a little bit. So you take the hydrogen peroxide gauze and dab it in there. You really want to mush it in a good bit. Make sure everything gets covered. You'll see it bubbling up. There you go. Now I'm not going to deny that kind of stings, and it's going to hurt you too. But you want to make sure it's disinfected. Make sure you get all that goodness out of there. I'm going to keep going here a little bit. Yeah. It'll bubble up. Okay. So now I feel like that's appropriately disinfected. We'll set that to the side. Let that bubble up. I'm going to give it a few seconds for it to disinfect. You know, you might want to let it air out just a little bit. A few minutes is probably fine. But like I said, this isn't that fresh. It healed up once prior to this. This is just a re-injuring. So I'm going to take this opportunity to dab up with a clean rag, or basically a clean t-shirt. I'm just going to dab up the extra hydrogen peroxide that's around the outside of the wound itself. And on Big Baby I kind of trimmed some of my foot here so that whenever I put this thing on, it's not going to rip my hair out of my foot. And since everything around the wound itself is rather inflamed, yanking the hair out of your foot is not a pleasant experience. Okay. Maybe just give it a few seconds for that to dry. Okay. What you want to do is you want to take a patch of this 3M stuff. I don't know the technical term, and I'm sorry. This is me trying to use scissors and hold the camera at the same time. It's not going so well. My apologies, folks. Make a nice chunk of that. You see, it's about that size. Just cover the wound nicely. This stuff peels off, kind of like sticky tape. So what you want to do is you peel it off. On there, right on the wound. Push down the sides. Make sure there's contact on the sides. Of course, I didn't do this very well. Let's see. But be sure not to touch the side of the tape that touches your wound. Probably obvious, but you don't want to get your finger germs on there and rub that right back in. So let's pull this a little tighter. And that should be good to go as it is. What I like to do is I take this 3M tape and hit the edges, just because largely of where this injury is, it's on my foot. You know, shoes are dirty, the ground's dirty, socks are dirty, your feet sweat. Many pleasantries that you do not want to introduce to your wound. So there you go. This is the actual 3M. It says micropore on it. It's pretty decent tape. I just wrap up the corners of the edges of this. Okay. So it's not very flush. I did a bad job. You at home can do a much better job than I can, holding the camera, I'm sure. But anyway, tape that edge down. Tape all the edges down. You know, probably, you know, if you had road rash on your forearm or your bicep or something, your tricep, I don't know. I don't think you'd have to tape it down because it would probably stay there pretty nicely. But like I said, this is right on the knuckle and it's in my shoe. I just want to make sure that no other boogers or germs get in there. Okay. So there it is, nice and flat. You're probably good to go just like that, but like I said, I'm anticipating a good bit of walking today, unfortunately, both for work and just because I have to get to work and everything. So what I'm going to also do is, well, actually today I'm probably just going to leave it like this, but if it was worse, what I would do is I would put one of these additional dressings right on top for a layer of padding and also protection. But there it is. Not very pretty, but it is safe, and you want to leave this on about 24 hours. You know, there's two theories of thought. One is to let everything dry out, and that's worked for me many a times, but I'll tell you that I've healed so fast and so quickly with this this synthetic skin stuff that I would highly recommend anybody else that gets road rash. I didn't really use it on these right here, and they have taken forever to heal. I started by not using it on here, then I went to the doctor, and the doctor put it on, and the skin growth was just phenomenal, and I healed really quickly using it. So again, I would highly recommend it, and yeah, that's about it. So good luck, be safe.